evening everyone from Nusa Dua, Bali. So like you have been mentioned before, today is the last day of the G20 high level summit, and then on this year world leaders are coming together and they have decided on the Bali Declaration, Bali Leaders Declaration, and it has been mentioned as a progressive actions by some of the leaders. But you mentioned that it was really important to know the international perspective about this, since this event itself has been covered for more than 2,000 media, either from Indonesia but also around the world. And now joining me is from our friend Tang from CGTN. Hi Tang. Nice to meet you. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, okay. So like what I've been mentioned before, today is the last day of the summit. We have the Bali Leaders Declaration, which have been seen that it could tackle many things such as the health issues and also even the geopolitical issues. So you've been covering this event just like us from C Today. CGTN have been covering this for maybe almost a year, but how is your impression regarding the declaration? Either is it a progressive actions, or what do you think about that?
Well, the summit has been very successful, and according to the Bali Summit Declaration, that the G20 central banks are going to collaborate their monetary policies, and while limiting those spillovers through a lot of changes. And that actually echoes with what President Xi Jinping has noted on Tuesday at the very first working session, that developed economies should also mitigate their negative spillovers through their policy, monetary policy adjustment. So what I'm trying to say is that given all this complex world economy and of course the unprecedented geopolitical situation, the Bali Summit offers a really good platform that the world major economies can calm down and sit down together, face-to-face conversation, and come up with something in common, and then give us a clue of where the world major economies are heading toward.
Okay, so are you happy about it so far?
Very much, yes.
Okay, so now aside from the summit for Indonesia and also the China bilateral relationship, there is one major thing that have been mentioned today, which is the launch of the high-speed train from Jakarta to Bandung. So how do you see it?
Well, I think that's a concrete example of a common development and also a pioneer to South cooperation. We've sent our reporters there to cover the construction of the project and tell stories about the railway, and that's part of our efforts to tell the stories between China and Indonesia. And one more thing is that I noticed that there are many electric vehicles imported from China here, serving all those guests and participants and delegates participating the summit. And I think that's another example of a very healthy development between China and Indonesia, even though it is a very small case, but I think there's a lot beyond. Like, we will be able to deepen our cooperation in areas like green economy, innovation, and technological exchanges, and also building a community for shared future for the two countries.
Okay, so my last questions will be more personal because you've been covering this for like almost a year, like I mentioned before. So, but right now in Bali, so you've been staying here for like what, 3 days, 4 days. So, what do you think about that, like right now in here?
Well, actually, this is my second time in Bali. My very first time was kind of like 10 years ago when I was a tourist visitor. And I came here, enjoyed a lot. I like the music, performances, and food here. But this time, most of the time, I was traveling between the venues, hotels, and media center here. So I didn't have much time to walk around, but I didn't miss too much because I can still sense the atmosphere here with those hospitalities of local people, food and music here, performances as well, and also those logos. It impressed me very, very much. So I didn't miss too much, but still, I would love to walk around the next few days if I can, and after the summit is finished.
Okay, so like you've mentioned that you've been here in the venue for several days. So how do you think about that, all this media center in here?
It's been very good an experience of working here in Media Center. That the service here is good, food is good, and I got a very immediate access to the pull feed about all those bilateral talks and those multilateral talks, and also many side events like the Groover, the planting activities early in this morning. So I think my job here has been very sufficient, and I really appreciate all the works that the staff of the media center has, invested for us.
Will you coming back here in Bali if you had a chance?
Definitely, I will come back again for the third time and enjoy the sceneries and food and culture and indulge myself in here. I love it very much.
And will you be here? Will you be there in Delhi next year?
In Bali?
In Delhi?
In Delhi? Yeah, I think so, because India has just taken the presidency of the G20, so we'll see. But if there's a plan, I think I'm going to apply for another coverage of the event.
Thank you so much, Tang Bo, Xie. Thank you so much. And that's our interview with Tang Bo, our friend from CGTN. And like what has been mentioned, it has been a great achievement for Indonesia presidency, as well as our bilateral relationship with China. As earlier today, we have just launched the high-speed train, and also in a more personal manner, he mentioned but he was really satisfied with all the things in Bali. So that's me reporting from Nusa Dua Bali, and see you next year in G20 Delhi. Back to the studio.
Andira, thank you so much. I mean, who wouldn't love Bali? It is one of the most beautiful tourist destinations ever, and no wonder that everybody wants to come back. Andira, thank you so much and stay safe. Hope to see you back in Jakarta really soon, and hopefully you get some time to have some fun after everything is wrapped up. See you.